Is there anything that they have done, with the skills you've given them? Any practical thing, any actual outcome?
So, good to go.
Okay. Yes, so to add, right, before intervention, we have the needs assessment and baseline survey, and that's because we integrate the concept of nothing about us without us. We don't go saying, oh, this is our solution. They are part of it from inception. So they take ownership in that sense. So we're not just giving them what we think, right? They are part of it. They tell us where, it hurts and what actually they need. And then we work with consultants as well, with teachers. There's training of trainers. So there are different stages, right? And like he said, they're part of it. And we have this, we don't want to call it ground rules, but rules of engagement where they understand things like, empathy, things like respect for one another. So even those that are shy, we make it conducive enough for them to be courageous enough to start speaking up, and that's where our psychosocial curriculum comes in, where they learn affirmations, they learn things like being courageous and beautiful and bold, and they repeat it, and over time you see that it sinks in, right, and it helps to build confidence. So from week 1 to when they graduated, you can see the progress, if that makes sense. And we, upon completion, right, we don't just let them go. We actually have the livelihoods, where they were assessed based on what were you already doing and how can you scale up, or if you are not doing anything, what do you want to do? And they have kits, right, that during graduation they were given to help scale up what they're already doing. And for some of them, they were, they've been assigned to training schools. There's tailoring, there is hair making, there are a few things, farming, baking and all, so that they are sustained economically. So even after that, they are now part of alumni and we follow up with them. So it's not just, oh, bye, right? It's like we see the progress and then we get reports from their trainers, right? Knowing, okay, how far they're going. And also beyond the 4 curricula, right, we still have this livelihoods component that helps them to thrive, beyond, the classes.
Yes, if I could add. Shout out to our volunteers as well, because they are an integral part of our teaching method. And apart from, just come and teach and go away, they also come back to us with reports. Well, today there's this particular girl, she has an aggression issue. Every slight thing, makes her flare up or whatever. I think we should do it this way, if we're teaching about, because I remember the psychosocial class that we had to make them speak affirmations. There were some people that were like so into it, they were so happy to do it, and there were some people that were just very cynical, and they were just like, well, is this the one that wants to, is this the one that wants to solve your problem and all of that? And then there was this girl who, of course, we knew that she had serious aggression issues, who was literally just insulting people and things like that. And it's not, again, you have to meet everybody where they are. So when we had like a side talk with her about, okay, what is the issue, what exactly are you angry about and all of that, and it was just this like resentment, it was just this built up, she couldn't even really say what the problem was, right? She just knew that the problem wasn't from here, and she acknowledged that for the fact that, okay, we put her aside and had a side talk with her, it was like, these are not the people that deserve my anger. These are not the people I should be projecting this to. So even if I'm not into the classes, let me just sit and listen, because at least they're here trying to help.
I mean, so how do you select these girls, really? Because you said some very interesting things. So I'm now very curious about how you select them. So on the average, how many camps do you cover? How many IDP camps?
So for Wings at the moment is 1.
1?
Yes.
Okay, so total of how many girls?
So the first one we started with 30, but 23 graduated.
30 girls in the camp or 30 girls selected?
No, 30 girls selected.
Okay, but in the camp, how many girls?
In the camp, there are over 200 and something.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yes. But then I'll say how we, select selected them. We started with 30. A few of them, unfortunately, we lost them to marriage, again, precious, because they're living in a camp where they're not even sure, they're risks of them being redisplaced again, because the people who own the land are demanding for it. And for many of them, it's like, oh, let me just leave this camp. Some of them, one unfortunately passed away before we even started, but she was already part of, our list. So we used the purposive sampling method, like having criteria that we wanted, right, to help just streamline, if that makes sense. So we had eligibility criteria, that we wanted, from the age to level of, English proficiency. We didn't need you to, of course, be an expert, but having good command of English, at least. Yes, part of what gives the volunteer teachers an edge is that most of them are also fluent in Hausa. So there are things that if they don't understand, they cannot relate in English, they can switch. But again, we need you to have a good enough knowledge. Then your availability, because these are girls and young women who are doing multiple things, but we need you to be available. So we had the criteria that helped us to select. And again, back to the fact that we've been working in the camp, volunteering for over almost 7 years prior to, so we had good relationship with them. And even the project we did 2023, those young women were part of it, so it made it easier to move them from the part-time one-off thing to now being a part of the beneficiaries. So that was how they became part of it. And again, in class, we understand that things come up. You may not be able to be in class every time, but you have at least 70% attendance before you graduate. And if you're not going to be available, each group, so they are in clusters, right? And each teacher, we rotate and all, but they have access to teachers, to the project coordinator, to some of us. So if you won't be able to, you should communicate. So we make it a way that it's flexible, but also they know the importance of being serious with the classes.
Yeah. Okay, so to bring it all together, I love how you guys have taken a holistic view of what you're doing for these girls. It's really amazing. I think this part of the video we should put a round of applause. I'm putting it there as a pointer. But the reason I'm saying that you're doing really, really cool stuff is because you're taking into consideration everything that could possibly affect those girls. You're talking about livelihoods. You're talking about digital skills. What else are you teaching them?
So we have gender. We have gender and life skills. So talking about things like even climate. So we don't make it so complex, but it's like things like even your waste. How do you manage waste? Recycling, things like that.
So things happening around them.
Yes,
good habits.
Yes, and the good part is there are two of them who actually sell Zobo and Kunu. So after each class, you see them packing the bottles that we give for water and they use it. So you can see how they are actually making use of what they are learning in real time. Then we have the psychosocial support, digital. Then we have business skills. So in business skills, of course, basic things, we don't want to make it complex, but how to know how to save, how to keep, and even digital, like as simple as having a small design for your business, even two-factor authentication, because they are vulnerable. So we teach them things like safety and security while using social media. So it's pretty much holistic.
They're on social media.
Some of them, not all, but some of them. Facebook, WhatsApp, some of them, and like 2 or 3 are on Instagram.
So that's what informed this idea of let's teach them the use of AI. So how to kind of create, how to use prompts to kind of create marketable things that they can actually post on the social media. So because some of them are not that good in English, but we train them on what to write, what they want. At least the AI can generate that message for them, and they can just post it on either their WhatsApp or Facebook.
That's really, really cool, because you're working with people who are actually already familiar with using tech to a certain degree, even though it's just using their phones. So is this part of your selection criteria?
So no, that isn't, but they learn, right? They learn. And again, for the livelihoods, based on the, of course, assessment, we had 2 of them who their kids had to do with subscription for Canva Pro and all those things because of what they need. Some will say, for me it's baking, for me it's sewing, for me it's this. And so we meet them like, Tommy said, where they are, yes.
Okay, that's really cool. So you just mentioned the kids while we wrap this up. So you mentioned someone's kids could have Canva subscriptions. So what's up with that? What's in the kits for different people?
So we have the budget. So because of, this one is more of like equality, we have the budget like same amount for all, but then we now see, okay, what can we do with that? So 11 of them are in physical training schools, right? And the training is baking, sewing, hairdressing and all. And so those ones, we enrolled them. And for a few, of course, we had to top up because the trainers would say, you bring this, bring that, stuff like that. Then for some others that want digital, we're like, Canva Pro for 1 year, Adobe basic things. For others, it's like, some of them, they're already sewing, for example, so they don't want to go to training school. They just need maybe a machine or more things. So it was so specific. Again, because they're fewer, maybe that's why we're able to, but of course we're open to scaling up for partners watching. But then each of them, we meet them where they are. So the kits are different, right? Depending on what that person needs.
That's really, really cool. So with these people now that you've trained, right? You said you keep in touch with them after the training. So what steps do you take to keep them engaged, whether or not you have a budget?
So that's where collaboration and partnerships come in. We've partnered and collaborated with, a few organizations and social enterprises focused on different things. For example, we took them out of the camp for a nice, excursion for farming. Yeah, they went to do painting and planting with us, and it was so beautiful. And you could see that for some of them, that was the first time they were leaving. To get them back into the bus was very hard. The bus driver had to say, I am leaving them, But you could see their joy, and you could see how artistic they are. Like for some of them, I couldn't believe that was the first time they were painting. So we partner with people in that sense, artists to come to teach them how to make things with coconut shells. People so there are different ways where when the budget is limited, we have people that will come and match up. And then even after graduation, we had Wings for Women's Health, where we had doctors and, therapists and psychologists to come and have different sessions with them. And we did tests like blood pressure, BMI, things that they've never had. And it was so beautiful. So even when we're, we still keep in touch every now and then. Sometimes as simple as calling, or sometimes saying, with a pool of resources, who are the partners we can come, pool funds together, and then do something that's cost effective.
Because also these girls are very much aware. Recall when Priscilla came to meet us and tell us that, that one thing we've noticed that some of us people just come in, use them for props, and then the next thing they do is they leave. So somehow they're already aware of that, and we don't want to be like that. So that's why we created this program. We know that there's a way we can follow up, with which Wadi, Tommy, and Jaffa have been very good at doing, following up with these girls on a weekly basis, sometimes on a monthly basis, to make sure, check out they are doing, see what they're doing, see where we can come in to help them as we're scaling up. So,
shout out to our field coordinator, Jaffa.
Yeah, she's not here, but
fantastic. And just to also build on the network issue, I can't overemphasize how important our networks have been. So, like we said, we've been doing this since uni. So, of course, since uni, different people have gone in different directions, right? Maybe establishing businesses, maybe working with different people, and so we feed off of that network. And once they see the work we're doing and they want to engage, or more they enter with everything. Sometimes it's like, I beg, wait, but just to emphasize how important and how much we appreciate the network.
The networks, we're so grateful. Some of them may not come in person, but we can feel their impact, right? And they follow up. They want to see, how can we? And then to add on graduation day, we had the trade fair. So some of the girls, and they made some of their products. We had the uncles and the aunties, the rich uncles and aunties here buying.
Can you see how she's looking at you? She's like,
and they bought, and they were deflecting. All of them, right? Everybody came, and we had a few of our friends who also attended. They bought, from yaji to fascinators to dresses, So they were so encouraged.
You guys invite me to the graduation.
Sorry. But of course, next time, right? But it was beautiful to see that they were so happy. Some of them had sold out, and maybe that was the first time. But just encouraging them, snacks, whatever, it was just beautiful. So
it's so amazing to hear your story. I don't know whether you've noticed in this interview, I didn't ask you about the challenges you faced. And that's because I feel like you guys are so solutions oriented that you've been able to find solutions to even potential problems that could come up. From the way you selected your girls, from the modules you're covering, from the way you're able to, pinpoint what could be an issue, from that girl's aggression to other people. It's all very beautiful. It's all very beautiful. So, okay, so one thing I really admire about your team is how you guys are using limited resources for so much. Because the Wings money is not $50,000. It's not $5 million. It's not $50 million. It is literally, it's enough to help these girls and to make lasting change. So thank you guys, really. Thank you for the work that you're doing, because you have a 9 to 5.
Yes,
you have a 9 to 5.
Yes,
you don't have a 9 to 5, but you have a 10 to 10. Meaning that your work never ends. Your work never ends. So what I'm going to ask you is, when people want to help Wadi, because this is an incredible story. After this interview, I'm going to come. We're going to go to the IDP camp now. But when people like me or other change makers want to get involved, how do they get in touch with you?
So thank you. That's very valid for you and the many other people who will come on board. So we have our social media platforms, and we'll send it to you. So maybe you could put it on the screen. So we have LinkedIn, we have our email address, we have Facebook, we have phone numbers particularly, and we're currently working on the website. However, there's a website where you can reach us. So there are different ways in which people can reach out. And for the new year, part of what we're hoping to do is have this either donate or partnership where people can sign up, whether it's monthly or whatever, quarterly and all, to make it easier for people who want it to be recurring. So, but for now, through our social media channels, people can reach out.
Yeah, our Instagram is also very active. Yeah. I don't know if you mentioned Instagram.
Sorry,
but Instagram is very active. And we have YouTube as well, so you can also view like all the events that we've had and all of that.
We'll also try and also be on TikTok as well, maybe making some TikTok videos.
Yeah, because the girls love all those things.
Yeah,
they love it so much.
Yeah, but you have consent from their guardians, right?
Yeah, so that was part of the
that's
first
part of the
things
first
we did.
Okay, good. Okay, so in thinking about the future of Wings, what do you envision?
So I'll go after Tommy.
Okay, so we're not, like you already mentioned, it's not as if we have one pot of gold still somewhere. Honestly, we're doing as much as we can with the resources we have and with the people we have and with the network we have. So as I say in almost all of our meetings, if it was up to me, there would just be this big haven where, you know, girls come and in maybe 3 to 5 months they're able to learn all they need to learn, establish businesses, and then from there they can go on, and then the alumni also supports them and things like that. But again, we have to we have to come back to the ground. As we're looking at the sky, we need to come back to the ground, right? So like that's really my vision, is that we can establish a haven where people have hope, where people grow, and where people can lift others from as well. So yeah.
And in addition, we hope that, of course, Wings will be something that's replicable. So other countries, other organizations see our concept and somewhat, of course, in partnership with us, but replicate it, because it's so, like, the intervention is so deep and so holistic, you know, like you said. And to be honest, some people think you may need to give, like, billions. Of course it's needed, right? But every dollar, I promise you, makes a difference in the lives of these girls. Like, it can stop one girl from being married off, it can stop one girl from having an extra year because she couldn't pay for WAEC or GSCE, and it can ensure that a family is able to feed not just once a day but twice a day. So every dollar counts, every donation matters, every partnership, and everybody that wants to come and volunteer, your time, your expertise, every single thing really matters. So please join the bandwagon.
Thank you.
Your laptops and phone.
Our AI
experts, old phones.
Old phones, old laptops, please.
Our
you can
AI
also
experts
donate
have
to us.
spoken.
Yes.
Please
help these girls, because like if you help them, you're basically going to be rebranding the next generation of women, like women that are sure of themselves, who are, you know, they're very present when it comes to self-improvement, that take responsibility for their growth and for their development. So to round this all up, I'm going to ask you guys, each and every one of you, to give me just some wisdom for other change makers out there that might be thinking of what to do with little or no funding, and they just want to start something. Wadi?
So for me, this has helped us in the past 10 years. Many times it's difficult, right, getting funding, but collaborations and partnerships. Of course, we're organizations and people that share similar values and visions, of course, but don't say, oh, you cannot do it alone. I promise you can't. So working with people has helped build networks. You're not competing, it's towards a common goal, right? So come together and do it, and it truly, truly helps. And be easy on yourself. There are times that it's overwhelming. Breathe, take a break, right? And then you come back refreshed. I learned it the hard way, so that's what I'm saying. Please take a break while you're trying to save the world.
All right. You took my words, but
Oh,
so yeah, for me, I'll say like I have like passion and belief. To be very honest, like as I say, it's not as if we have this pot of gold that's making us, but the passion and belief always drives us. The belief that yes, we can do better. That passion and belief keep us going every day. Like in our meetings when we're talking, we're always passionate about it, and that makes us want to look forward to going to this camp every weekend to support girls. So once you have passion and you believe that yes, what you are going to do, you're going to achieve something. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so my own nuggets of wisdom would be know your why. Because if you don't know your why, you go everywhere, and it will make it all the more stressful. It will make it all the more exhausting. You would start to lose sight of what you're even there for. Even it doesn't even matter the peak you reach. By the time you now get there, you're not like, is this why I was sweating? Just because you don't know it. So yeah, I would just say, as all the superheroes out there, right? All the Nigerian change makers, all the international change makers, just know your why and stick to your why.
Okay. My own nuggets of wisdom would be follow Wings on all their social media channels. They are on, you heard them, they're on LinkedIn, they're on YouTube, they're on Instagram. And also, as much as you can, reach out to them and say thank you. It's not easy work. It's very hard to be consistent and to be this intentional. So please reach out to them, tell them that you love them and the work that you're doing. And maybe we could all come together and find ways to engage with these girls even more. Hearing about your work and everything.
Change narratives,
yes,
you guys.
I know.
They have the best
And subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. And then maybe for next season we could have you guys here. It's going to be very interesting stuff because it's going to be interesting stuff. I won't reveal it so early, but thank you guys for coming. And we would like to say in 1, 2, 3.
Rise with wings.
Thank you.